If you restore properties in the state of Texas outside of managed repair networks, Uncle Ed has a question for you. Are you facing problems getting paid? The consensus of the restoration contractors that I talk to is that the biggest problem the industry faces right now is collecting payment. And the most important place to start with that is a powerful restoration contract. And that's why the number one tip that I start off with in my book on restoration collections is building a strong restoration contract. And on November 9th at high noon, we're going to be putting on a special webinar on the proper execution of Texas disaster remediation contracts. And you can register now at edcross.com/webinar. Your contract sets forth the ground rules for your transaction. You should strive for a meeting of the minds with your customer, and your contract is a perfect set of talking points to reach that consensus. But unfortunately, since I became a Texas lawyer, I've noticed an awful lot of deficient Texas restoration contracts. As we know, Texas is generally considered to be a business-friendly place, but it also has a lot of important consumer protection statutes that lay out rules for things that you must include in your Texas restoration contract. And if you neglect to include them, your contract could be declared illegal, which could make it impossible for you to get paid, and you might even get sued for deceptive trade practices. We'll show you easy ways to avoid these pitfalls. Your right to payment arises from the contract that you have with your customer. Adjusters are not judges or juries. They're not allowed to set your prices or tell you how to run your jobs. But y'all have given too much power to the insurance companies. They are not your customer. In most cases, restorers have no rights against the insurance company. But how do you make your customer an ally rather than an adversary? It starts with executing a contract properly. You need to comply with all of the rules and regulations for the contents of a Texas restoration contract. Homemade contracts fail, and they subject the restorer to costly legal disputes, payment problems, negative online reviews, and a host of other hassles. Guys, it's not that hard if you have the right people on your team. Newsflash, you do not need to accept whatever amount the insurance company is going to pay just so you can sign up jobs. But do you know the best way to close a sale without leaving the customer with the impression that you're simply going to accept whatever amount the insurance company is going to pay? And how about mechanics liens? They're your most powerful collections tool, but you don't have a right to a mechanics lien if you don't execute the contract properly. The rules regarding mechanics liens are very technical, and they should be followed precisely. What do you need to include in your Texas contract to protect your lien rights? And are you prepared for the defenses that homeowners' attorneys may assert against you when you try to enforce your contract? When we work on Texas collection matters, homeowners' attorneys often assert the defense that the homeowner was in a state of duress at the time the contract was executed, and therefore the contract is not enforceable. How can you avoid that defense? We'll show you how. Do you know what tools you can provide to your people to make it easier for them to discuss your contracts with your customers? To be enforceable, a contract has to include definite and certain terms. Do you need to include a price in your contract? And how on earth could you possibly come up with a price for an emergency service project? So grab a sandwich, gather around the computer with your team, and join us for the Lunch and Learn webinar on Texas contracts. It's a fast and economical way to make your business more profitable and easier to run. We'll have a lively, interactive discussion, and it's a great opportunity for you to get to know my associate Kaitlin Palmarozzi in Dallas. She has a knack for dissecting complex problems and arriving at practical solutions. The best part is the webinar is free if you own our Texas contract package. Use the promo code CONTRACT at checkout. If you don't have the Texas contract package yet, go to edcross.com/Texas and add the webinar to your cart at checkout using the code CONTRACT, and we'll see you on the 9th.